Thank you for joining us for another edition of Connect with Ivy Tech. I'm your host, Phil Quinn, Marketing Coordinator for the Ivy Tech Richmond and Connersville campus. We wish you the best all this holiday season, and as we get ready to get started in the new year, it's a new semester, which is always an exciting time for us at Ivy Tech. And joining me to talk a little bit about another program that we offer throughout the year is Val Ray. She's the Executive Director of Development at the Ivy Tech Foundation, and she is joining us here. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. We want to talk about the Ivy Cares program. Those of us on campus have been familiar with what the program is and what it does, but for our viewers, how do you explain it to people that are just new?
Well, first of all, higher education is all about acronyms, and CARE stands for Caring Assistance Resources for Every Student.
Okay.
So it was created by a caring faculty about 2 years ago, and there's a lot of need on campus with our students, and providing wraparound services is a strategy for our campus, and so that they can persist in their coursework. A lot of our students who live in generational poverty, the working poor, are one flat tire away of dropping out of school. And we want them to persist in their classes. So we want to be able to assist them of breaking those barriers. And so if that's providing them a gas card or a food card so that they can make it through one more week of school, that's what we're trying to do.
It's amazing when you think about what students, a lot of students on Ivy Tech's campus, what they've gone through in life to get to this point. And we do hear a lot of those stories a lot. Is there a particular story that touches you when talking about this program?
Well, when a student decides to come to Ivy Tech, they've made a major decision in their life. So most of our students are working full-time or part-time. They have families. So going to school is a big decision that they've made. And they're managing all kinds of life situations. Sure. And it's not just one instance. I mean, we see these stories every day at Ivy Tech, and I could talk about one, yes, sure. but a lot of things are happening every day on campus. And fortunately, we've created Ivy Cares so that we can support a number of our students, which if it needs to be said that it is all donor supported. This program. And I can say I've been with the college for 39 years, and we do a lot of great things on campus. We have the state-of-the-art technology, we have the wonderful facilities that we're in, but for programming and student support, I would say Ivy Cares has been the most impactful. In Ivy Tech, we're all about metrics. And and I can say we've been impactful because we have been measuring our success rate for this program. And last fall, we retained 90% of the students that we assisted who was served through Ivy Cares. This past spring was 90% of our students that we served. This past summer, I'm pleased to report every student that we supported through Ivy Cares persisted in their coursework. Still waiting on the numbers for this fall, but I'm told the numbers are looking pretty good.
Good. The reaction that the students have when they learn about this program, that's got to be a difficult thing to ask for, but through different resources and connections, that's how the Ivy Cares program gets to help. And what's their feedback when they hear that there's this opportunity here?
So it's been interesting. A lot of students have pride, so sometimes they don't necessarily seek out the services themselves. So the services have come through primarily referrals of our faculty. Other students, our staff who are working directly with our students, tutors. So they may be coming to class hungry because we know that there are food insecurities in our community in which we live, and our students are not exempt of that. So faculty, they'll say, hey, you know, before you take the test, if you haven't eaten, why don't you go down to Ivy Cares and see if there might be a healthy snack. Or if they're getting ready to go on an interview or an externship, and they need professional clothing wear, this is another way Ivy Cares can assist. And so it's through those referrals by word of mouth. And the students, once they understand that's a hand up and that it's just to get them over that hump, they've been very grateful.
Right. There are probably a lot of things that are in place that the faculty can reach out and touch base with the program or drop those names, however that process works. One of the things that is so interesting to me is how the employees, the faculty at Ivy Tech, and whether that is an educator or someone that's just in the support position like what I do, the amount of caring that they actually partake in is humbling. I'm amazed at how much they connect with a student on a one-on-one level.
Well, and I may be, favorite. The best place to work is at Ivy Tech Richmond, and it's no doubt it's because of the employee community. They really do care about the mission and our students, and that they want them to be successful. And they do whatever they can to make them successful. And I do have to say, we have an annual campaign, and I'm proud to say that our employee community, we have a very high, it's over 90% every year of employee contribution to the employee campaign for the success of our students.
Wow, that's
I know,
amazing.
it really is.
Well, let's talk about the community and with the foundation specifically, because while I know people that are connected with the campus, they want to contribute to Ivy Cares. If there's organizations or other folks that would like to donate, how do they do that?
Well, we make donating easy, and it is to the Ivy Tech Foundation. It is a charitable gift, and I would be remiss not to say thank you to a number of major donors that have already supported our Ivy Cares program, and there are a number of them, and I'm not going to start naming them because I will.
Then we'll forget.
I will forget, and then I will be shamed later. So, but a number of our businesses in our community support Ivy Cares because of the impact that we're making. And so the easy giving, cash, we accept cash. We accept checks. We have a website at www.ivytech.edu/giving. Choose the Richmond campus. Or you can mail it to the Ivy Tech campus at 2357 Chester Boulevard here in Richmond.
That's right. Val Ray, she's the executive director of the foundation here on the Ivy Tech Richmond campus. I know that those arms reach out also into our Connersville campus and where we are developing in Rushville. It's amazing work. We want to make sure you're a regular part of coming back to our program because the work that the foundation does, it's not just Ivy Cares, but it's a greater whole. So you'll come back and join us, right?
I would love to.
All right, great. Val Ray, our guest here on Connect with Ivy Tech. We'll take a quick break and come back with our next guest in just a moment. Welcome back to Connect with Ivy Tech. I'm your host, Phil Quinn, and I'm very pleased to have in studio with us Brandy Farmer. And
Hi.
Brandy is the student government president for the Ivy Tech Richmond Connersville campus, and it's great to have you here. So this is the first time we've had you on television.
Yes.
This is the first time that you've done this, but can you share with me a little bit about your story coming to Ivy Tech and then just kind of wrapping up your time here with us and a little bit about that backstory about Brandy Farmer.
Sure. I was actually a stay-at-home mom for 18 years. I have 4 children.
And what are those ages?
I have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old who is now attending Ivy Tech as well.
All right.
And then I have a 12-year-old, actually he's 13, I'm sorry, and a 9-year-old.
Okay, all right.
And when my youngest started school, I decided it was time for me to do something for myself. And I showed up at Ivy Tech one day because a friend of mine was actually signing up, and I rode along with her, and I ended up starting school in January.
So tell us about that decision. You make the decision to go. What, were you excited, scared, nervous? What were you feeling?
I would say all of those.
Yeah.
I definitely, when I showed up to take my the placement testing, I actually brought a pad of paper and a pencil because I was ready to take my test.
Yeah.
The librarian fell off of her chair. She was like, "We now do this all on computer.
Okay.
You don't need that." So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, good. So when you decided to go back to school, general studies, what was your focus?
When I started out, I was just going for general studies. My first semester, I did take psychology, and I knew that was a field that I was really interested in. It fascinates me, and I also have some passion for that area. So I started out general studies, and about 3 semesters in, I found out about human services. And then I transferred to human services, and it's been probably one of the best choices I've ever made.
Boy, we love hearing that. You know that.
Yes.
So you go from being a student. How long have you been taking classes?
2 years.
All right. So as you're ready to finish this degree and to move on, what do you hope to be able to do with it? What's your ideas now? What's the next step?
Well, I do plan on working somewhere. I'm really interested in social work,
Right,
also
yeah.
mental health. Those
Sure.
are 2 things. I really just want to make a ripple in the world. And now I feel like I have the education and the tools that I can actually go out there and do that.
Well, I certainly think that that's true. And you talk
Thank
about
you.
the ripples. At one point, you decided that maybe taking a leadership role in the student body was an important thing for you to do, and that led to you being SGA president. How'd
Yes.
that come about?
Actually, I was doing an internship with Ivy Cares, which is a phenomenal program that Ivy Tech has started. I could gush about that for days. However,
We just had Val on, and she
Yes.
did do that, so
And
that's great.
Val is amazing as well. So when I was in Ivy Cares doing an internship, this lovely girl, Krista Barker, that I was interning with, she was the SGA president at the time. She asked if I would be interested in being the SGA secretary. It was something I had never really thought of before. However, it was exciting. We actually were able to start a legacy project where we had a mental health week this semester for the students here at Ivy Tech. And once I started, when she left, she asked, "Would you be interested?" So I ran, and I got the position, and it has been an amazing experience.
Well, I got to think if you are in that leadership role, you are cognizant of all of the different types of students that we have at Ivy Tech. I mean, they're not all in one age group. They're
Right.
certainly not all from the same background. So how easy or difficult is it to connect with those students?
Honestly, I think that's one of the great things about Ivy Tech. I have made connections with people that are 19 years old. I have made connections with people that are 60 years old. And they each bring their own perspective,
Right.
which makes us all
Right.
a little more well-rounded. So it's honestly, I think it's been a blessing to have the different
Right.
demographics.
Sure. So I don't want to end our conversation without getting an opportunity to ask for your help. As
Okay.
the person who's helps with the marketing, I'm always trying to get feedback from students about how they would tell a student why going to Ivy Tech is an important thing. So simply just that. If somebody is watching this program and they're thinking about possibly attending Ivy Tech, what advice would you give them?
I would say go for it. My entire time here has been filled with not only an education, which is fabulous, It's also instilled self-confidence in me. It's also instilled self-awareness in me. I'm now more aware of the influence that I am in the world. And it's honestly, the faculty and staff here are amazing. They truly want everyone here to succeed. And that's not something you can say when you go many places. This is a fabulous place.
Well, we appreciate all the work that you've done. You've got to be one of those spokespeople for us for a long time.
I definitely
That's right.
will.
And we want to wish you all the best on your future endeavors. 2019 is going to be the year of Brandy Farmer.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you
all
so
your
much,
work.
Phil.
We're going to continue on with our program here in just a little bit. Thank you for watching Connect with Ivy Tech. Welcome back to Connect with Ivy Tech. I'm your host, Phil Quinn, and joining me is Patrick Piper. He's the department chair for the engineering, HVAC, the HVAC, and construction technologies at Ivy Tech, Richmond, Connersville. How are you?
Magnificent, sir. How are you?
Thank you. Great. Thank you for being here. I know that this time of year, we may not be thinking about construction projects or maybe even engineering or HVAC projects unless it's really cold in your home.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk a little bit about what you are seeing with the type of students that are coming through Ivy Tech. So when we mention engineering and HVAC and construction technologies, just briefly talk about what that encompasses as the department chair for Ivy Tech. What kind of courses are these students taking?
Well, there are three different type of courses or three different type of curriculums that we're talking about. The engineering technology curriculum is more curriculum that's geared toward a bachelor's degree, in which students can actually transfer to Purdue locally and receive a bachelor's degree after receiving an associate's degree from Ivy Tech. The courses that they are taking during that time are possible courses that can lend them jobs locally prior to transferring to Purdue University. And so therefore we encourage them to take these particular courses and get interested in these courses like designing courses, AutoCAD, SolidWorks classes, in which they can actually learn these computerized designs and utilize them with corporations that are in the local area and take that knowledge and move further with the company, as well as get an education at Purdue also to get their bachelor's degree.
Right.
The construction technology is different because we are under a umbrella called the NCCER, which most construction companies are acknowledging the certification of being the NCCER. They can take their certification and lend jobs in areas throughout the state of Indiana for construction.
Wow.
And so therefore they can move around and learn different fields. Usually construction companies would actually train them in what they want to know, but we give them the basics of what they would be doing as a construction employee. Okay. We do residential mostly here, and a lot of the companies in the local area are residential type of construction. Some are doing building type construction, but they can also use those students also. Yeah. HVAC is the same way. We have a lot of companies locally that are looking for HVAC workers. We teach them the basic skills of HVAC. They get some certifications through HVAC, the basic skills, but they are real learning experience when they go on the job, in which they will actually see a lot of things, experience a lot of things. We have labs in all of our courses that we have, so therefore they are getting hands-on experiences. The instructors that we are using are very knowledgeable. They've been in that type of environment for years, so therefore they are good in instructing the students of what they have experienced in the past, being an HVAC worker or a construction worker. So they give them different scenarios that they would have to look at and experience and how to handle those experiences as they go. So these courses that we have are really good courses to get them prepared to work in the industry. And that's what we're trying to do, because construction is one of the industries that's in high demand.
Right.
real high demand across the state. And so we're trying to find more and more students to come in and utilize the opportunities that we have at Ivy Tech for them.
There are a lot of high school kids that take some of these courses as a part of their curriculum at the high school level.
Yes.
But certainly that's not a prerequisite for coming into the Ivy Tech program. You can come in and learn hands-on from day one.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You can come, there is no age limit to what age you are to come in to learn this skill.
Right.
The demand is there. If you're looking for employment and you're looking for a good paying employment.
Right. Which is
you
even
are
more
considered.
important in some
Absolutely.
cases.
Absolutely. They need to really come see us and see what we have to offer. We're only talking about, since we are doing 8-week classes here at Ivy Tech, that means their time here is shortened a lot as far as getting them in and getting them back into the workforce. And so therefore, the opportunities of getting that ahead, moving to a different aspect in life, we have it here at Ivy Tech.
Yeah. One of the things that I find really amazing is that experience that those faculty members have in the real world, right? That comes into play because I got to think that some of those business owners that are managers that are looking to hire, they have those connections with the faculty and staff at Ivy Tech. Is that how that process works?
Yes, yes. As their demand comes, they actually contact us to see if we have any students that are ready for employment.
Right.
So we try to connect those students with the employer for them to actually get a better job. And a lot of times our instructors have a lot of connections that they have been working in various areas throughout the county or the area here, that they can connect them with some people that are looking for employers also.
Can we play just a little role-playing game? Let's say that I'm a business owner, and I'm coming to you, Patrick Piper, the department chair at Ivy Tech, and I'm saying, I want to hire an Ivy Tech student or an Ivy Tech grad or someone that's just completed a certificate program. What kind of person am I going to get? What kind of people are you going to send to me that are graduating from Ivy Tech?
What we do as instructors, we try to find students. When a student comes to Ivy Tech, it's more than just coming. You are looking at students that are going to come to class, going to do their assignments, turn their assignments in on time, and do the necessary things to be successful in that. Those type of students we identify and notice, because if they're doing that through Ivy Tech and doing what they're supposed to do with Ivy Tech, we know that we can match them with an employer in which they would do the same thing. You know, they're getting up out of the bed, they're coming to class and doing the work that they're supposed to do. If they do it just by doing schoolwork, I guarantee you they'll do the same thing with the employee.
Right. And they've probably had, depending on their age or where they are in life, they've probably had some real world experience. There may have been a pitfall there or two, and they're ready to go. And we only have just 30 seconds or so. I want to make sure that people understand that, especially parents that may be watching, if your kid wants to get into these types of technologies, this is not, these are wonderful, long-term, well-paying careers.
Yes.
You're using your hands, but you are ready to produce right away.
Absolutely. And you find a lot of students, especially high school students, are not more of a classroom type of student. They're more hands-on.
Right.
And so therefore, if you have a student or a child that's more hands-on and use their knowledge and hands, this is the place to be, that we can prepare them for an area that they can go out and work and make a decent living at an early age, because we can get them in and within less than 2 years, get them out making money for themselves and for their parents too.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's good. Patrick Piper, he is the department chair with Engineering, HVAC, and Construction Technologies. Thank you for being
Thank
a
you,
part of the
sir,
show.
for having me.
That's another edition of Connect with Ivy Tech. Hope you'll join us. And if for any more of the programs or any of the other information about Ivy Cares or about student government that you'd like to learn, you can go to ivytech.edu/Richmond. You can also go to ivytech.edu/Connersville Connersville, for our folks that are joining us in Fayette County as well. We'll talk to you for another edition of Connect with Ivy Tech. All the best this holiday season.